All right, the meaning of man. We're coming at you today doing a video. It's the first 5 guns I should have bought.
I think we both definitely had our FUD phases growing up. Guns that we bought that probably weren't as high speed as what we're into now. We also have a lot more knowledge with different barrel lengths, different barrel profiles, how to build guns, pistols, rifles. We're now older, so we can actually buy pistols, so the order's changed up a little bit. You know, go ahead and start it off with the first gun you think you should buy?
Yeah, sure. So the first gun...
How old were you when you first bought a gun?
Trick question. 21.
Okay. I was 20.
Yeah.
I was gifted 2 guns at 17 and 18. So...
Yeah, if I mentioned that, I was gifted one at, I guess, 15 and 18 as well.
Okay.
So about first purchase, 21.
All right.
Yeah.
Work. All right, let's assume you're our age now.
Or 21. 21 or up.
21 and up.
Yeah.
What's the first gun you should buy?
I would be going with the Glock 19, which I have here. And the reason for that, right, for your first gun, Glock 19 fills multiple roles as EDC, right? It's a great gun for EDC, your home defense, and I think those are the 2 most important things I'm looking for the first purchase of a firearm. So I would go with the Glock 19. This is the Gen 5 with the TLR1. But just in general, that would be my first purchase. If I did not have a firearm and like 21 years or up, that'd be it for me.
My first gun would be the exact same. My first gun that I purchased was actually a Smith & Wesson M&P Sport 2. Not a bad purchase, but you know, I was 20, couldn't buy a handgun. But being the age I am now, Glock 19, it's good for everyday carry and home defense. It's one gun that fills multiple roles. You can buy a rifle. A rifle is better, but you can't take it with you everywhere. So that first gun, you just got to get something you can take with you everywhere. Glock 19, TLR 7A, really good light. It's like 600 lumens, common battery, CR123, flush fit. And I would go ahead and get a white light and a holster that'll take it, and a white light as well.
Okay.
All right, second gun.
2. So if you already got your EDC and home defense, second gun I'd be getting would be an AR of sorts. What I have here is a 10.5. If I was getting one, I'd probably get 11.5. That's what I would probably do. But something in that category. Main thing is, you now have something, I guess, for better home defense. You wanted to fun, target shooting, whatever. Predator. But yeah, I'd definitely go ahead and go with like 11.5 AR setup. This is my 10.5 here. Just have a knockoff. Surefire, is that what it is? No, yeah. Surefire. Holosun and some backups. Magpul Pros.
Shining on the wall.
Yeah, it's on the wall for you right here. It's pretty decent for what it is for knockoff Amazon.
It's lit in here, so it's hard to tell, but they're like 300 lumens.
That would
Surefire Scout
be my second option after I've already got an EDC carry.
It's going to be pretty predictable. Mine's pretty much the exact same again, and we're connected via mic.
Do the shuffle.
Yep. 10.5 as well. I'm running some, this is 55s. Yeah, these are just simple 55 grain. Sometimes I like to run the 75s. They're just a little more effective. Pretty much the same setup, Surefire, the M300 Scout with the pressure switch, just zip tied to the rail, works great. Just about flush fit with the back of the flash hider. I like the A1, but any 10.5, this is a Aero Precision 10.5 upper. I just swapped out to a Midwest rail, Aero Precision lower. They're good quality for very little money. SBA 4 brace. It shoulders really well when it spontaneously touches that shoulder. Run it with a single stage. Romeo 5 on fixed irons. Really solid for home defense. I have killed a deer with this. I've yet to kill a coyote, but it will be happening. Great predator rifle, great for home defense, or truck gun if you want to get into that. It's just one of those other things, just multiple roles. So if you get a Glock and then you get a 10.5, that's 80% of gun use right there.
Yeah.
All right, let me just set it down.
Guess going to number 3, it depends what you're going for, what your next goal is. For me, being a hunter, not so much long range, but if you got long range, I'd be picking up a bolt action rifle and a hunting caliber or something I can reach out there with. This is a Howa 1500 and 6.5. I think it came with this cheap scope. Don't get on me for that. It's a Nico Sterling 4x16.
Do you have your suppressor here?
Don't have my suppressor with me.
Upstairs.
Typically, I run a suppressed. Obviously with the ASR mount, but has a little break on there. But I think it's definitely a great way to go to be something, if you're in out west, you could shoot out long distance if you enjoy that. But other than that, mainly for me, this functions as a hunting rifle.
As you can tell, we are pretty much the same person once again. Partially because we are both really into defensive firearm use, but we also both deer hunt and like to eat deer. That's pretty good. So this is a Savage 110 and 308. I think 6.5 is an excellent caliber. It's better external ballistics wise. This, you just get a little more sectional density. It probably dumps the energy a little faster. Also with an ASR mount, I actually have the Blackhawk suppressor that's a licensed copy of your silencer co-suppressor. I'm just running a single port. We use the AISC mags. They're like $32 a piece, and you can buy them pretty easily. 308's a good caliber. I've seen people drop an elk with it. I probably would, if I was going to go elk hunting, I'd probably spend $800 to get like another Bergara and like a heavier caliber. But 308 just with an SWFA fixed 10x42, excellent little deer rifle. We don't really like hike 8 miles to get to our stand or anything like that. So a heavy barrel, it's fluted. It's not nothing too crazy. Really need to get a sling for it, but a good deer rifle would be my third rifle that you can also use for long range competition if you want to get into it. That's why I want a heavy barrel, just multiple purposes at once. Yeah,
I guess we're going number 4. Is that what's going to be next?
Yeah.
So for me, number 4 would be a shotgun of sorts. Could be whatever you want. This here is a TriStar. So it's actually like a $300 Walmart shotgun pickup. However,
I actually didn't look at the brand. You brought it. I assumed it was like a Beretta or something.
Dude,
it looks beautiful.
Looks beautiful. There's engraving. The checkering is actually really good. It shoots pretty well. The only thing it has I guess would be...
It's like made in Turkey?
Yeah, it's a Turkish shotgun. Yeah. I think TriStar is a Turkish company. It has what's called the extractor, not an ejector. I prefer the extractor though.
Does it just pop up?
Yeah, but it pulls out the shell and you just pull it out by hand versus it ejecting the shell out.
I'm not a shotgun guy. Legitimate question.
Yeah, so the reason I would get a shotgun for one, if you want to get into bird hunting, is an awesome idea. Skeet shooting is relatively cheap for a shooting sport, and it's super fun. I think it just varies your arsenal of what you got, what you can do. If you wanted defense, you could use a shotgun. Not my thing, but...
You can also get rabbit.
Yeah, rabbit, squirrel. So, I mean, I think that's really cool. And like I said, for what this was, I really enjoy skeet shooting. So I think a shotgun's a good way to go as well.
Yeah. I'm not as much of a shotgun guy, but similar purpose. My fourth would probably just be a 22. Now, hindsight, this probably wouldn't be the rifle I would get. I would get something similar to this. This is the Savage Mark II. Standard barrel, standard trigger, no oversized bolt. I'm running a 1-inch scope. It's probably not what I would get, but I would get a 22, either bolt or semi, something like a Ruger 1022, or the, I think it's like the Mark II SR or something, where it actually comes with a Picatinny built in. You can go ahead and throw in a 30mm scope, still keep it pretty lightweight with something like a 16-inch barrel. This is probably 22, but I mean, this was like $147 for a 22. I don't know about right now during the ammo pandemic, but 22 you used to be able to find for about 4 cents a round. You go and take squirrels all day. You can target shoot. You can teach people that are gun shy that, guns aren't anything to be scared of. If you learn to master this, you could step up to a 223, 5.56, especially it's one that's got a suppressor. This is just a good trainer, and there's still a lot of purposes for it.
Oh yeah.
Probably not the home defense purpose, but I mean,
but you've already got that
some
covered.
people die with 22.
Yeah,
so
it's possible. Shot placement, right?
Yep.
Okay, and I think so. We have covered the 5 guns I should have bought if we were go back in time, right? Was that the first 5?
That was 4.
I lied. That's 4. I can't count.
You got more.
Math is hard. So my 5th gun, if I've now covered all those bases, the last thing I'm gonna get would be a Glock 43. And the reason for this now is gonna be something that I can still carry, but it's also gonna be easier to still carry. The purposes I have the Glock 43 for would be if I'm wearing a suit and tie type deal. That's basically it really for me.
If there's do like a long hike where it would just a little less weight.
Yeah, less weight. It gives me another option for carry because sometimes the Glock 19 can be a little hefty, or whatever outfit you're wearing, maybe the Glock 19 does not go well with it. So the 43 is a great option to go with.
Now, me for my 5th option would be something like an AK. Not necessarily that the AK is like the top 5 guns that you should own, but it's something in a different caliber. So specifically right now during this ammo pandemic, where 5.56 is what, 70 cent a round for M193 55 grain ball, whereas it used to be about 27 cent a round just per 100 rounds or so. This is still about 40 cent a round, 35 cent a round. Sometimes you can even still find it under 30 cent, even during this ammo pandemic where the powders and the primers are expensive to get, and they're still manufacturing cheap ammo. It's still an intermittent caliber. An AR, you're looking 1200 foot-pounds. This, you're looking about 1500. It's a little slower but heavier pill, but a little harder to mount red dots as well, but it's something in a different caliber that you could still use for a defensive situation, home defense. If you could get a white light on it, you could duct tape one to it. If you're, hunting 50, 100 yards or something, you're confident with your iron sights, you could take deer with this. You could use it for predator hunting. It's pretty lightweight if you don't have too much on it, but you still could do a side optic mount rail. So there's a lot you can do with an AK, and they're not too expensive. This is a Wasser 10 I picked up about a year ago for $700 or so. I just love AKs. They also have some sort of aesthetic to it, especially when you got like this beautiful red laminate Hungarian wood. So that's my 5th option.
So now we've covered.
Now we've covered the first
guns.
5. Then we have an honorable mention, which is just, hey, you've covered pretty much all of your, not necessarily duty applications,
Maybe
but your purposeful needs of firearm. And then you can kind of start branching out, getting more specific. For me, something like a 14-7 recce rifle bench. This has a 1:8 primary arms optic. Still has a similar weapon light on it. Just don't have the pressure switch because the Geisley rail is not hollow like the Midwest is, so it's a little harder. I'll have to order Picatinny mounted pressure switch or something to contain it on Picatinny. But just a recce build like this with a 1:8, and this has an ACSS reticle, so you can actually look through and you can actually range your targets, specifically if they're humanoid, like if you're shooting like an IPSC steel or something like that. It has different striations which represent 18 inches at different distances, and then you can also range your drop as well as your windage, 5 and 10 mile. This might just be 5 mile an hour holds. Looks like, yeah, just 5 mile an hour holds.
I think 5 on the inside, maybe 10 on the outside.
Yeah, this one is second focal plane. They do have a 1:8 first focal plane as well as 1:6 second and first focal plane. That just means the reticle either changes sizes or doesn't as you zoom in. This one's second focal plane, just so it was a little more budget. I do think I might get a first focal plane, one of their gold series, like 2.5 to 10s or 4 to 14s or something like that. Just something like this that's a little more range than your 10.5 or 11.5 while still being pretty compact. If I still lived out in the country where my parents are, this probably would be my number 2, and that 10.5 would be something later, more as a trunk gun and home defense, and this would fill all the roles until I got to that point.
For me, I got something a little bit more, I guess you would say, fun. A little yeehaw. This is just a good old Marlin 336 3030. Looks my grand. I think it's maybe 1970. It's made in 1970. It's 1970 edition. Basically, just mainly a deer rifle, right? Whatever I use it for. But they're super cool. I love a lever gun, and that's basically it. I enjoy them. They're fun. Could use it to hunt with.
And in my mind, really, like the first gun, that handgun that's, you know, home defense and EDC, that's the only one that I feel like you have to buy first. Yeah. Beyond that, all of this is just a recommendation of what order a younger me should have gone in.
Oh, yeah.
You could probably just go straight from the handgun to your deer rifle, so you can go ahead and get meat. Just keep using that handgun. It fills both roles. It's just not as effective, but you could go straight to a shotgun if you want to get in more towards the sport clay shooting, that kind of thing. So you don't have to. Don't take this for gospel. It's just, you can see our first 3 guns. I mean, our thought processes were the same. If you're trying to be very functional with your firearms, what 3 you would get. Until next time, have a good one.
We'll see you.
Let's walk.
Not bad.
Yeah. Let's make sure I hit record. Yep, still recording.
Without a doubt, coming out into nature is one of the neatest things there is to do. But you also have to be careful. That's why I always try to pack a gun. It's just a little bit, pack some heat.